Morning. I want to talk to you about stop letting fear take over. In today's Curl and Cash Wealthy Wednesday, fear can be our biggest stopping point. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my first rental property that I bought back in 2010. And it was super scary. I was like, what are we doing? This might be a big opportunity for us. However, it's so scary. Who am I? I don't know anything about renting a property. Like all those thoughts, all those things came into my head. But like, I get it. I get you. It helps all of us. Or it stops all of us. I should say it doesn't help all of us. It stops all of us. And it's our brain trying to keep us safe. But here's why you don't want this to stop you. Because that was the first stepping stone of me really starting to grow my wealth in significant portions. And once you take the risk one time, the second time's even easier. Shortly after the first rental property we purchased, we decided to build a house, a VRBO or Airbnb rental. I think it was like 2 years later, a year or two later, when we saw the how easy it was to rent the property, to cover all the expenses in the property with the rents, and how easy it was to get people to rent it. We were like, oh, wait a minute, we're onto something here. And at that moment, I could have let fear take over when I went during the first rental property. And I would not be anywhere near where I am today if I ever let fear stop me. Now, fear, sometimes, yes, fear has its place for maybe not doing something super risky. But, just sometimes if you just try it, like, what do you got to really lose? As long as you know it's a good investment. Real estate, for the most part, is pretty much gone up, except for the one time where it went drastically down, which is actually when I bought my first rental property. Because, as I talked about in last week's Wealthy Wednesday, I was saving that $50 a month, and it went up to $100 a month. And when the housing market crashed, I still had money. And I thought, wow, what a perfect opportunity to purchase a home now that I know is going to appreciate and take this chance. And wow, was it the perfect opportunity? And I didn't do it just because of that. Like, I chose a location that I might want to live in retirement one day. It didn't happen. But still, I was able to sell that property and cover all the expenses for all the years I rented it. And then when I sold it, there was additional equity I had in it. Plus, it covered the mortgage and all the expenses the entire time I had it. So, it was like investing, I believe it was like $25,000. And then at the end, like 13, 14 years later, when I sold it, I had built up the equity as well as the house price increased. And we walked away with, from that original $20,000, we walked away with, I'm trying to remember how much it was. It was over an additional $100,000 in equity, and it was more than that because I think it was like $150,000. Like 12 years later, that $20,000 turned into $150,000 20 years later. Or not 20 years later. Sorry. 2008, we bought it, and then we sold it in 2023. So, like 15 years later. So, how you can turn $20,000 into $150,000, like in 12 years, like boom, rental property. So, and yeah, I'm telling you, I was really, really scared, and I was like not in my stomach scared, but I didn't let fear stop me. So I'm asking you, where are you letting fear stop you right now from doing something a little risky that could make you, in the end, make you a lot of wealth? So I'd love for you to journal about that right now and think about how you can increase your wealth by maybe being a little riskier and investing in something that you might not invest in. Thanks for joining me on Curl and Cash, Wealthy Wednesday, Wealthy Woman Wednesday, and I'll see you soon.